decided to reveal that I am 15 weeks pregnant, and we haven't told all of our friends, and the only people who knew for a while were our families. And the reason is there's so many things that you don't want to jeopardize, it's too early to say. And then I was actually not in the mood to tell anyone because I didn't feel good. For about 2 months I was so nauseous that I couldn't eat anything, I couldn't smell anything, and everything, just all the smells annoyed me. And I bought a book and I started reading, what's going on. I knew that it's, that's common, but it's just I was in such a mood that I just didn't really feel like doing anything and working, or I worked just to occupy myself and away from the thoughts of being nauseous all the time. But also we wanted to kind of take it easy and just go with the flow. And I'm still, I'm 15 weeks pregnant, but I'm not showing. I'm still wearing my skinny jeans. I don't show at all, which helps being in New York, because when potential employees or clients, and I'm a graphic designer, meet you, they're not necessarily happy about you being pregnant, somebody, because it comes with a stigma that you're not going to be able to do all the work they want you to do, which is not true. You actually have more desire to work, and you have more desire to occupy yourself. And especially me, it's kind of like I'm still not realizing that I'm pregnant, because I'm not showing, and aside from being nauseous and some other little things, I just continue doing what I did, and I ran around the city, which is probably not a good thing like everybody says, but I just not realizing that I'm pregnant. And I thought that I'm gonna start vlogging about just how it is to being pregnant in the city, because I hear that all the time. And the first time when my parents came to visit me in New York, they couldn't even sleep in the apartment. And they used to tell me, how can you sleep with all this noise? You can hear everything, the buses, the taxi. It's kind of like already a given, so you're used to all the noise, they're used to, it's kind of like secondary noise. But I get that a lot, because now that my parents know what the city is about, they ask me, or they kind of, were hinting, asking me how we're going to be able to raise a child in New York. And a lot of people think that it's impossible, which wasn't really true until a few years ago, because the city is not the most child-friendly or family-friendly city in the world. It's mostly for, I would say, for young, ambitious people who are planning to have families like later in life. And but it became more friendly. It became more friendly in the last decade, or in the last 5 years. More parks, more open air for playgrounds for children, for mothers with strollers, and especially where we live, it's pretty friendly. But I do agree there is so much in the city that can be done to make it more family friendly, but I'm not sure if that's the purpose of New Yorkers, to be family friendly, to be honest. But I will try to show you how it is to be pregnant in this city. And so far it's been good, aside from the fact that there's so many street vendors that's selling food, especially a lot of guys who sell food that really has a strong scent. And it's really hard because it's the city is like a mega city for all the foods. And when you're pregnant, you walk around feeling, even more nauseous because everything smells. Subway smells, store smell, street smell. It's a lot of different scents and to take. And when you take, especially public transportation, that becomes even worse. So that's one of the things that I've been trying to deal and trying to be good about it, but it comes to the point where I come home and I don't want to smell anything. But then you smell your neighbor's foods, and my husband now jokes saying that I have the scent of a dog because I can smell everything from miles away. And that's one of the side effects of being pregnant. And but in terms of nauseousness, I've been pretty good, but it's been nothing what they say that you're supposed to eat the first 3 months when the baby's being formed, and all the essential organs and everything. And unfortunately, I'm not taking as many vitamins or fruits or vegetables or anything remotely that is considered to be healthy for the baby. And that's been kind of upsetting, and that's been kind of hard for me to deal, because it's one of the things that you want to do when you're pregnant, because you want to drink more juice, you want to have good soups, you want to have as many vitamins as possible. And unfortunately, I'm jealous of all the women.
So this is pretty much what I ate. The first week when I still had no idea I was pregnant, but I felt very weird. I could eat pretty much everything except no coffee, no dairy products, which I love, and that was like devastating for me. And that's when I realized that there's something going on. So, and the second week, I pretty much stopped eating everything. Everything made me nauseous, and I was trying bits and pieces of this and that, and it's just everything was making me sick, and even the water. The third week, we actually were in Argentina, and I was pretty much upset because the only thing I could actually tolerate was plums and melon, which is pretty much the third week, plums and melon. And that's when I lost 9 pounds. Not the diet I would actually, advise, but that's something that is, I'm not the only one experiencing, when there's certain foods, that the only certain foods that you can eat that don't make you nauseous. When we came back, it was the hardest time, because even though New York has so many foods, so many restaurants, so many cafes, so many choices, I couldn't eat anything. And the only thing that was making me happy that I could eat was oatmeal. And oatmeal is the best thing when you're pregnant because it's nutritious, it has so many vitamins. But the problem is that I ate it every day for about a week, and then I realized after the first week that I could no longer tolerate it. I could no longer eat it. And that made me upset because that's the only breakfast I could eat, because no longer I could eat yogurt. I never really liked cereal. So oatmeal was like a saver. So I was left without coffee and breakfast. And that's the toughest thing, because as probably lots of pregnant women will say, is that in the morning you are the most nauseous and you have to have something to eat, and if you don't have anything in your system, it's gonna make you miserable, it's gonna make you more nauseous. So that was like my worst period of time because I couldn't eat anything in the morning.
Breakfast.
The week 5, I started thinking that maybe I could force cereal in. So I bought the most basic cereal that's out there, no sugar, no nothing. and I was eating a little bit, but I wouldn't say that I really was enjoying it. I was a little bit nauseous afterwards. And I discovered that week that also I could eat pizza. But it's not just pizza. It was actually pepperoni pizza. I don't know what's with pepperoni or something like that, but that's the taste that actually was the only taste that I could tolerate. No other like more healthier versions of pizza I could tolerate. So I was eating pizza pretty much like every day for like 5 days, driving my husband crazy, even though he was happy that I was eating something. Yeah, that was not the most nutritious thing to do, and any book will say that, you know, it's probably not the healthiest choice. Then it was turkey chili, which I discovered by accident because I just tried like 20 soups, and turkey chili was the only thing that didn't make me nauseous. So I was eating it for like 5 days until I realized that I could no longer eat it. And until this day, I probably don't want to eat it anymore. And then the revelation is that of all the not nutritious foods that I was eating, on top of that, this became this.
Tengo hambre. Pues, ¿qué vamos a comer? Algo tradicional.
No hay nada más tradicional que la deliciosa sopa Maruchan. Por eso es la sopa de fideos que más se vende en América. Y ahora más saludable porque no contiene ácidos grasos o trans fat. Maruchan. Fideos
Packed with sodium, and it's probably why I was craving it with like, yeah, it's almost like 2,000 milligrams of sodium. What I was craving is because I needed salt in my system. And up until this day, for about the last 8 weeks, that's saving me. If I cannot eat anything, that's probably the soup that I would eat when I'm like absolutely dying from starvation, and can't force anything inside me. Another revelation was Lunar bar, and that was my saver. I was eating it like maybe 2 bars a day, and they changed the packaging, but the original packaging was saying nutrition bar for women, and that's when I realized that it's actually packed with all the good vitamins that, you know, women need, and that was saving me because I wasn't getting much nutrition in my system. And that's up until this day that saves me if I'm completely like cannot eat anything, like I can't eat anything. This is the bar. It's not an advertising, but it's actually a really good bar. I mean, it does have sugar, but it also has some vitamins placed. So I have a lot of those in my apartment now. And then it was obviously, I mean, you know, the period of chocolate and peanut butter has arrived, and I was warned about this, even though I never really was a big fan of sugar or any kind of sweets. I prefer salty things. But in the last week, this has become my foods. That's actually my dinner. And that's pretty much, I mean, you know, it's scary. But I don't just do sandwich. I eat peanut butter by spoon, and as well as Nutella, but I don't have Nutella because it's I eat it by jar every day, so I'm out. But this pretty much, I'm eating peanut butter and I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer. So we're very excited. And my friend told